students. Today we will start about your CA foundation classes, and I will guide you. I will take you the CA foundation economics. I am very glad that I will teach you the topic, the subject of economics, and this will be. Let me tell you that your CA foundation economics will be your fourth paper. CA foundation. My subject will be paper 4, and the paper is your business economics, and business and commerce knowledge. So let me tell you, the paper is your paper 4. Part 1 is your business economics, and your part 2 is your business and commerce knowledge. So if you combine together, it comes to the paper 4, the integrated paper 4. Paper 4 is coming your 100 marks, and out of 100 marks, your business economics carries 60 marks, and your business and commerce knowledge carries 40 marks. This comes to your entire 100 marks, and this is your paper 4. So the entire paper is divided mainly under two heads. One is under business economics, and your second part is your business and commerce knowledge. My colleague will guide you about the other paper, that is your business and commerce knowledge. And now I will take you that your business economics. Under business economics, we will have 5 units coming with 60 marks. All questions will be objective questions, and it will be 60 marks. Before going to discussion about the topics, let us talk about the course or your syllabus highlights. And your unit 1 will be about your basic concepts of economics. Basic concepts of economics. So, your CA foundation unit 1 starts with your basic concepts of economics, that is from your unit 1. When you come to unit 2, it will be your chapter of demand and supply. This is your unit 2, that is your demand and supply. Then you talk about unit 3. Unit 3 is all about your chapter of production and costs. This will be your unit 3, that is your production and costs. Unit 4 will be the chapter about your market, different forms of market. This will be your unit 4. Then you will come under your last unit, that is your unit 5. Unit 5. Unit 5 will be about different business cycles. So, these are the course highlights of your business economics. You understood? That is your 60 marks. Let me revise once again. In your paper 4, the subject is your business economics and business and commerce knowledge. Business economics is your 60 marks, and your business and commerce knowledge is your 40 marks. So if you combine together, it is coming a 100 mark paper, and it's your paper 4th. Under business economics, we will discuss about basic concepts of economics. That will be part your chapter or unit 1. Under unit 2, we will study about what is demand, what is supply. In economics, very important chapter, that is your demand and supply. In unit 3, we will start about production. What is production? What are the factors of production? You might have idea about land, labor, capital, organization. These are the factors of production. We will study about the features of production, features of land, features of labor. We will study about features of capital, functions of entrepreneur. And after production, we will start about your costs. So production and cost belong to your unit 3. And once we complete production and cost, we will be switching our discussion to market. Remember one thing, that market in economics is slightly different. You have seen different types of market in your daily life. You have now mentally matured. So you have come across through different market forms. There will be market on the basis of locality. There will be market on the basis of time. But the market that we are purely going to study under economics is the market under competition. You understood? We have studied different markets. Market on the basis of time. Market on the basis of place. Market on the basis of place can be categorized as local market, can be categorized as national market, can be also called as an international market. Market on the basis of time is known as your short time market, long period market. But now the center of discussion, the center of focus under market in economics is your market on the basis of competition. And on the basis of competition, now we can classify market mainly under two heads. One will be your perfect market and one will be your imperfect market. Again, your question comes here, your imperfect market again subdivided under three heads. That is your monopolistic competition and oligopoly market. So that is the end of the chapter of market. But remember one thing, this is the classification of market on the basis of competition. I hope you will enjoy the chapter. I hope you will really excited to know about the chapter, because this is the market chapter that we have not experienced before that. You will be experiencing this chapter for the first time. You will experiencing the concept for the first time, I think. Then in the last part, we will talk about your business cycles, different fluctuations, different changes in business cycle. You know that business is not a stagnant activity. Business is not a fixed activity. There will be ups and downs in business. In each and every business, you should remember, in each and every business, there will be ups and downs. Without ups and downs, a normal business activity cannot be carried out, as all of we know that. So accordingly, we have divided business activities under different phases. There will be peak, there will be prosperity, there will be downfall, there will be depression. So we will study under business cycle different forms of business cycle that will be under unit 5. So if you group together, if you purely group together, then we can tell that 5 units of economics that makes your 60 marks of economics. This is the entire 5 units that we will study, and your 5 unit will be coming under 60 marks. And your 60 marks is purely an objective marks. You have to answer the answers in multiple choice questions. They are purely objective questions. Remember one thing, that this your CA foundation paper is a new paper, new books. I hope you will enjoy everything in the book, everything in the topic, because you are very lucky that you have got a new syllabus, you have got a new book, and you have got a new structure of economics paper that comes with 60 marks. And every question will be your objective questions. Actually, you do not have subjective question, but most value we have objective questions. Just simply I am revising. In unit 1, we will study about basic concepts of economics. Unit 2, we will study about what is demand, what is supply. Unit 3, we will talk about production and cost. Unit 4, we will talk about market forms. Unit 5, we will talk about business cycle. This is the all highlights of your course. Now I will talk about some points. Let us go to our syllabus. This is our starting class. So I hope some of you might have some idea about economics or not actually. So basic things, so we will discuss about that. In chapter 1, we will study about basic concepts of economics. In chapter 2, we will study about demand and supply. So for your convenience, let me introduce the topic that we demand, that we always look for, that is the topic of demand and supply. What happens actually in economics is that as a faculty of economics, my point is that when you are studying economics, you should clear the fundamentals. I am excited that you should be excited, you should be interested to talk about, to know about the fundamentals. Once you get the fundamentals, you get things going on. That is the point of view. I want to tell you that you should clear all the fundamental things in your mind. You might have an idea about accounting, you might have an idea about law, but somehow might be you new to economics. So my job is that, my responsibility is that I will simplify every and each concept to each and everybody. So at the end of the day, at the end of the class, I will ensure that you will be getting every concept very clear. So for your understanding, in my first topic, we will focus about your demand and supply. We will discuss about basic concepts, but for the time being, we will discuss about your demand and supply. Chalo, let us talk about demand and supply. So why I have started this topic, you should understand that when we are studying about economics, you should primarily know about demand and supply. So when you talk about demand and supply, obviously one name comes here, that demand, it is a part of your consumer, and supply is a part of your producer. When you talk about demand, it is a subject of consumer. When you talk about supply, it is a task of producer. In economics, consumers and producers are really very interesting concepts. It is a consumer on one hand and producer on other hand. Two sides of the same coin. Remember, I am purely talking about the fundamentals of economy. Now we have started the class. Please listen carefully and be excited about the concepts. I have started. Do not be hurried. I have told demand, I have told supply. Demand is a part of your consumer, supply is a part of your producer. Now you will be excited. Who is consumer, who is producer? Let me tell you, consumers are the persons who consume something. Let us be simple. Don't worry. Consumers are the persons who consume, and producers are the person who produce. Consumers are the person who consume something, and producers are the person who produce something. So the activity of consumer is called as consumption. The task performed by consumers is known as consumption. The activity of consumers is known as consumption, and the activity of producers is known as production. Remember, I am taking throughout the topic. Again, I will back to the old concept, that is demand and supply. Don't be worried for that. You just be relaxed and understand each and every concept that I am going. Economics will be easy one. I hope, once you get the things very clearly, very simply. So we have started demand and supply. From demand, I told about consumers. Demand will be met. Demand will be coming from consumer point of view. Supply will be coming from producer point of view. Consumers are the persons who consume something, and producers are the person who produce something. Now question comes here, what do you mean by consumption? What do you mean by consume? I told you, consumers are the person who perform the activity of consumption. Consumption is the activity performed by the consumers. Production is the activity performed by the producers. Now, so the main center point lies about your consumption. What do you mean by consumption? What do you mean by production? Now, the responsibility comes here that we should understand what is consumption and what is production. In economics, when you are trying to understand the concept of consumption, then I can say consumption is nothing but it is simply consumption means destruction of utility. I want to be very simple. When, for example, I ride with a market, then we use the market so that the utility of the market goes on existing. The utility of the market goes on changing. That is called consumption. Consumption means destruction of utility. destruction of utility. And production means your creation of utility. I am making my analysis very simple. From the beginning, I told you demand and supply are the two sides. They are the purely two opposite concepts. I will prove that. From demand, we have taken consumer. From supply, we have taken producer. Consumers, the task performed by consumers is known as consumption. The task performed by producer known as production. Consumption meaning consumption का मतलब क्या होता है? Destruction of utility. Production का मतलब क्या होता है? Creation of utility. Still, if you do not understand, I will tell you that. Here, I want to clarify that. Destruction का मतलब ये नहीं होता है कि आप, for example, you use something, आप कुछ use करते हैं, उसको आप उसको spoil करके, damage करके उसका utility कुछ खिला देते हैं. Not like that. Destruction मतलब ये होता है, when you use something, then the utility of the thing goes on diminishing. That is the meaning of destruction. Destruction is not the meaning of spoil or damaging something. You should understand. Destruction is not the meaning of spoiling or damaging something. Destruction here means when we use something, then the utility of the commodity goes on declining. The utility. The question comes here, utility. I have told from first that when you go to the depth of economics, when you are going to the depth of economics, you will be excited. You will be interested. So, now I told you that consumption means destruction of utility, production means creation of utility. So, when we are saying that the producer is producing something, definitely we think we are creating or adding some utility in the commodity. Until and unless if a producer is not adding some utility, this is never called production. Accordingly, exactly like that, I told you that when we talk about consumption, it means your destruction of utility. It means that simply it implies when in our day-to-day life we use something, we use some item, when we use some goods, then the utility of the good goes on declining, diminishing. That is called consumption. For example, when you go to a shop, you purchase a pen, that is your, till that point is production. For example, till the item is inside the mall, till the good is inside the store, till the item is inside the shop, it is called production. When you pay something and you take it out, from there onwards, the activity of consumption starts. You understood? When you are going to a mall, when you are going to a shop, till that point, the item inside the shop, the good inside the mall is known as production. But when, as a consumer, we go and we pay something and we purchase the commodity, from there, the activity of consumption starts. That is the meaning of your consumption and that is the meaning of your production. Consumption means destruction of utility. Again, come to the point of utility. It is the point where actually economics lies. The meaning of utility. What do you mean by utility? What is utility? Utility means the satisfaction power. The satisfaction power of any good or any service. Remember one thing. Utility refers to, I will ask you once again. Utility refers to the satisfaction power of any good or service. I have told the satisfaction power of any good or any service if even it satisfies a single individual. Remember, you will understand my each and every concept if you listen very carefully. I told utility refers to something that satisfy each and every individual. So no need to tell that utility should satisfy each and every individual. Utility means if a commodity, if an item, if a good satisfy a single individual, then also we can call that commodity is having utility. You understood? Utility means any item, any goods or any service, if that satisfies a person, then that is called utility. Take for example, I can say proudly that market gives me utility. I can proudly say that your boat gives me utility. You can say proudly that your pen gives you utility. You can say proudly that your notebook gives you utility. You can also say proudly that your mobile gives you utility. Nowadays you are using Android mobiles, smartphones, so we can say they give you utility. There is no doubt in saying that mobile gives us utility. There is no doubt in saying that pen gives us utility. There is no doubt in saying AC gives us utility. So now we get some idea about utility. But my question comes here that does alcohol give us utility or not? My question is, can anybody? My question is that does alcohol give utility or not? What is your answer? Tell me that. Does it give utility or not? I'm asking the question once again. Does here I have told a commodity even satisfies a single individual, that is called utility. Now question comes here. I told you the answer. I told you marker. I told you whiteboard. I told you pen for you. I told you mobile for you. Now my question is, alcohol having utility or not? What are you telling? Is that having yes or no? Some are saying yes, some are saying no. Chalo, let us try the answer. Alcohol for a drunkard gives the satisfaction that we never expect by eating chicken pakoda. Alcohol for a drunkard will give more satisfaction that we never expect when we are taking chicken pakoda. We are not thinking about that way. We are not telling about that way because we are different from some person, from that groups like that. So alcohol, whatever the commodity may be useful or not, but each and every commodity must give utility to each and every person. Here you should remember that utility is different thing, usefulness is different thing. Utility is different thing, usefulness is different thing. All commodity must have utility, but all commodity must not have usefulness. Science doesn't prove the facts that somebody taking alcohol is having a good health. But we can say that alcohol also gives some person utility. You remember, you know the difference between utility and usefulness. All goods must have utility, but all goods must not have usefulness. Some goods have usefulness, some goods have not usefulness. Some goods have positive usefulness, some goods have negative usefulness. That is why I told you should remember all goods have utility, but all goods may not have your usefulness. This is the point of our discussion. Chalo, let us go to a point. What we are discussing about consumption. Consumption, as I told you, consumption means destruction of utility. इसका मतलब क्या होता है? When we use a commodity, when we use a good, when we use a article, इसका utility in course of time, for example, खत्म होके जा रहा है, that is called consumption. And when you talk about production, the opposite sides, remember one thing, all the concepts are purely contradicting to each other, opposite to each other. Demand, supply, pure opposites. Consumer, producer, pure opposites. Consumption, production, purely opposites. Destruction, creation, purely opposites. So you should remember, this is economics. Remember one thing, make it interesting. Very interesting point. That production refers to creation of utility. When a producer makes some good, then he is adding some utility in that commodity. He is creating some utility in the commodity. That is why when a pen is inside the shop, that will be costing you 10 rupees. But when you purchase that after 5 days, it might not will cost you 10 rupees. You get it? When a pen is inside the shop, it will be costing you 10 rupees. But when you purchase a pen after 3 or 4 days, for example, the pen might not cost 10 rupees. That is why production is known as, production refers to the creation of utility. When you add utility, when you create utility in an item, in an article, in a good, that becomes the center of meaning of production. प्रोडक्शन का टास्क, प्रोडक्शन का रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी किसका होता है? प्रोड्यूसर का. कंजम्पशन का रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी किसका होता है? कंज्यूमर का. एंड कंज्यूमर comes from where? Na, demand. And producer comes from where? Na, supply. So this is the basic logic you have to understand. while you talk about demand and supply, that is a part of your chapter or unit 2, demand and supply. Let me tell you one more interesting point. I have told you consumer, I have told you producer. Let us know, identify about ourselves. You are a consumer, I am also consumer. Because I consume something, you consume something each and every day. You understood? I am a consumer, you are a consumer. Because I told you, consumers, simply I told you, consumers are the person who consume something. If you consume something, you are a consumer. If I am consume something, I am also consumer. When a child is being born, right from the beginning, he is a consumer. Because in daily life, he definitely needs some articles. Then only he can grow up. So you can say that a person must be, an individual must be a consumer. But a person may be a producer or may not be a producer. Remember one thing. All persons are consumers, but all persons are not producers. All persons, all individuals are consumers, because each and every individual has to consume something in day-to-day life. But all persons cannot be producers. So what we can conclude? All consumers are not producers, but all producers are consumers. पैरागन चप्पल जो मेक करते हैं, वो तैयार करते हैं, first of all he is a consumer, then he is a producer. So you should remember, very interesting point, you understand, all consumers are not producers, but all producers are consumers. This is the point you should understand. When you are being born, you are a consumer, you are not a producer. Why I tell you that, why I told you, why all consumers are not producers? All producers are consumers, but all consumers are not producers. To be a producer, you need some definite qualities. You need some good qualities. A producer must have innovation quality. A producer must have risk-taking quality. A producer must have dynamic talents. But a consumer doesn't have such type of qualities. Are we taking risk by a consumer? We are not taking risk. How can we take risk? We are simply sitting and eating in the home. So that is why we are not a producer. Are we doing any innovation? Not. I remember my study days that one of the economists, he told that profit will be available to the producer as long as he continues innovation. Innovation, you know that nowadays the innovation word is very practical. Innovation means discovery of new ideas, discovery of new things. It is an art of creativity. Innovation is an art of creativity. Schumpeter told, one of the greatest economists of every time, he told, innovation is available to the producer, profit is available to the producer as long as he continues innovation. The moment he stops innovation, the moment profit stops. So, profit is a part and parcel of your innovation or creative activity. The person who does more creativity, the person is entitled to get more profit, and the person who is doing less creativity, that person is entitled to get less profit. You heard about goodnight coil? When it comes as a coil. Nowadays we are using your goodnight cards. That is nothing but it's art of creation, it is art of innovation. Remember one thing, it will only kill your mosquitoes. It will not kill your rats. So innovation means it is an art of creativity. It is an art that only producer possess. It is an art that consumers never possess. Like innovation, the producer must have the talent of risk taking. They are taking risk. When they are investing something in the business, definitely they are taking risk. Because when you talk about producer, I will definitely tell you one point over here. We will know that there are basically 4 factors of production. Just simply I am telling 4 factors of production. One will be your land, one will be your labor, one will be your capital, one will be your organization. So accordingly we get 4 factors: land, capital and organization. Now, equally important for you to understand, land gets rent. Land gets rent. Labor gets wage. Capital gets interest. And organization gets profit. These are the factors of production. These are the remuneration. These are the payments for the factor. Rent for the land is always positive. Can you stop the rent for a house? Can the house owner stop the rent for his house? He can't. He will definitely ask when in the calendar there will be March 1 or April 1 or May 1 or June 1. That is why rent for the land is always positive. Now, it is always compulsory. Wage for the labor is always positive. A daily laborer cannot, he will definitely ask his wage when somebody hires him. So, the wage for the labor is always positive. It cannot be negative. Exactly like that, the interest for the capital is always positive. A capitalist cannot leave his interest. Interest is always positive. But you remember, it's a very surprising thing. Profit, your organization, the entrepreneur, the firm who undertake the entire production process, at last what is getting? Profit. But you should remember, profit may be plus, profit may be minus, profit may be positive, profit may be negative. When profit is plus, you are taking it profit. When profit is negative, you are calling it loss. That's all. So, if profit is available to the organization, it may be in plus, it may be in minus. So, what you are going to get, that depends on your innovation, that depends on your risk-taking capacity, that depends your dynamic leadership. That is why all cannot be producer, but all can be. You simply go walk on the road. You need a pair of shoes. We need food, clothing, shelter as a normal individual. So the activity of consumption starts when we are born. When you are born, the activity of consumption starts. But the activity of production doesn't start when you are born. If you are a producer, only you are entitled, you will be doing the activity of production. So remember my what? That all consumers are not producers, but all producers are consumers. This is the basic point. And one more thing I would like to tell you, that in my starting class, that consumers, for example, every person have an objective. As a student, you have an objective. Somebody want to be a cost accountant. Somebody want to be a chartered accountant. Sunil sitting over there, he's telling that, sir, I want to be a chartered accountant. So everybody have an objective. Everybody have an aim in life. Like that, consumer have also objective. And the objective of the consumer is to get maximum satisfaction. The aim, the purpose, the objective of the consumer is to get maximum satisfaction. And the objective of the producer is to get maximum profit. You understood? Right from the starting, I told you that the consumer, producer, demand, supply, they are purely contradictory, opposite concept to each other. To understand about demand and supply, you should understand about the entire process. Then only will be feeling very interested to understand about demand and supply. You will feeling very easy to understand all the things. But you should get all the fundamentals clear. Consumers' objective of getting maximum satisfaction, and producers have the objective of getting maximum profits. At the end of the day, consumer will be looking how much satisfaction they are getting, and at the end of the day, producers are always looking how much profit they are getting. That's why actually I told you the objective goes different. As the objective goes different, the activity goes also different. I told you about the entire activity of the consumer. I told you about the entire activity of the producer. Now, you back to our discussion about demand and supply. Demand is a concept. I told you, consumers, consumption, and consumption, they will demand. When you consume something, definitely you demand something. So, now, for you, it is important to understand the fundamental thing that we are going to study, that is your demand. Now the topic becomes very interesting, that is your demand. What is demand in economics? Demand in economics is different from demand in ordinary language. When you talk about demand, let me tell you very frankly, demand comes when we expect something. Remember, demand comes when we expect something. For example, if you want to see the movie of war, from there the demand comes, the demand arises. So demand means desire for a commodity, desire for something, expecting for something. But at that time, demand cannot be fulfilled. Demand is subject to fulfillment. Demand can become practical when you have the willingness to pay and capacity to pay. So we can write, demand refers to desire for a commodity when it is backed by willingness to pay and capacity to pay. Demand refers to desire for a commodity. I'm repeating, when you expect something, when you desire something, that becomes demand. But actually the demand becomes practical when you have the capacity to pay something, when you have the capacity to purchase the item, and when you have the willingness to purchase the item. Take for example, a miser. A miser conjures. He is having lot of money. When he expects something, when he thinks something, demand cannot be fulfilled. Because he is having money, he is having ability, he is having capacity, but he doesn't have willingness. Like that, if you think about a street beggar, a beggar has a lot of expectations. If you ask him, he will tell the entire list of items. You can't listen. You don't have the patience for that. For a beggar, also, demand cannot be fulfilled because he is having willingness to pay, but he is not having capacity to pay. So, when the two elements will go simultaneously, then only demand can be fulfilled. You understood? Demand refers to the desire, the expectation of a commodity backed, supported by willingness to pay and capacity to pay. That is the actual meaning of demand in economics. And I told you, demand is the prime responsibility of the consumers. Be clear in the fundamentals. This is the fundamental you should understand. To understand about the interesting thing about economics. If you want to understand economics, you should get the things very clearly and very simply. In course of time of our discussion, we will be making every session very interesting when you understand all these things very clearly. For you, it is important to understand all the things. Accordingly, supply comes. Supply comes from the producer side. In ordinary life, you also had that who does the supply? It is the producer who does the supply to the market. It is the consumer who does the demand in the market. In between demand and supply, and another element comes that fulfills every expectation. What is that? Price. Demand and supply. In between, the element comes, that is your price. And that is called equilibrium price. Equilibrium price is a price when demand is equal to supply. Remember one thing, you should remember, we have expectation, we have objective of getting maximum satisfaction. Then you just tell me how you will get maximum satisfaction. When you go to the market, you go to the market and you are just wishing to purchase tomato, and tomato is costing 80 rupees. Are you feeling happy? Not like that. I'm sure everybody is not happy when they are purchasing tomato at the cost of 80 rupees. They will be happy. I will be also happy when you are purchasing tomato at the cost of 20 rupees. So what do you understand from my logic? My logic that when you purchase something at low price, then you are getting maximum satisfaction. When you are purchasing an item at maximum high price, then you are not getting maximum satisfaction. But you think about consumer side. You should also think about producer side, because it is a simultaneous, you should go with the producer and consumer. A producer expects to sell more at high price. He is interested to sell tomato at 80 rupees. He is never interested to sell tomato at 20 rupees, but we are interested to take tomato at 20 rupees. So this is our expectation. At much price, at higher price, we would like to purchase less, and at less price, we would like to purchase your high. And producer side, at high price, they want to sell more. At low price, they want to sell less. Why? To get maximum profit. Their objective is getting maximum profits. And actually, इसमें क्या होता है? ना, we will go for a compromise. We will go for a negotiation. The consumers and producers have go for a compromise, go for a negotiation. As a consumer, we have to go down. As a producer, they have to go up. And in between, we will fix a equilibrium price. That is called price. That is called negotiating price, where the market takes place. If the consumer is stick to his price, and if the producer is stick to his price, there will be no market at all. At last, finally, we are going to the price where we will compromise the demand and supply. That is called equilibrium price. So we have discussed about many things in your first class. I told about demand. I told about supply. We talk about consumers. We talk about producers. We talk about consumption. We talk about production. I told meaning of consumption, production. I also told the meaning of utility and usefulness. We discussed in detail everything. I have also told about the concept of demand. In course of time, in course of our discussion, we will go to the entire theory of demand and theory of supply, and we will know all the things in detail. For the timing, I think this is your first and fundamental class for you to understand the basic concepts. Once you understand the basic concepts, it will be easy for you to understand the topic in details in course of time. Thanks for your patience.